Getting America back on track.
It's alive! And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Bill Martinez live.
Hey, we're back with you, America. It's just about 13 minutes before the top of the hour. Time to have some fun, okay? I know we've been a little heady, talking about some serious things, whether it's China or terrorism. But this is why we need guys like Frank Ford around so that we can, chuckle a little bit and, get a respite. Allow, that part of our brain, that right side of our brain to just kind of relax and be entertained and, laugh at our culture, laugh at ourselves. And Frank Ford is with us. He's one of the founding members of 4-Day Weekend, along with David Wilk and David Ahern. Frank himself has studied at the renowned Second City Conservatory in Chicago, and their 4-Day Weekend has been owning Texas. People are flying in from all over the place to enjoy the show. And Frank, it's great to have you on so that we can make sure our audience is aware, and so they can make sure that Fort Worth becomes a destination point, and particularly your show, because I understand it's just been so much fun, and you've got a great run going on there.
Oh, yes, yes. By the way, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate being part of the show that isn't very heady. So, but yeah, we've had a great run. Actually, we just celebrated our 17-year anniversary and won Best Small Business of the Year this year.
Wow, congratulations!
Yeah, thank you very much.
Great. Well, Frank, I'm in and out of Texas, quite often, and I got to tell you, this reason I say, wait a minute, how can something like this, so big, so successful, and I've missed it, and I apologize for missing it, and I'm due to be in Texas in a couple of weeks, couple months. I think it's a month after next, and I am coming in. I'm going to make a stop. I've got to see your show. I've heard so many great things about it. So embarrassingly, I will tell you up front, and very vulnerably, I have missed it. I'm ashamed of myself. And I'm looking forward to your show that's just been, getting great raves from everybody that I talk to.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, well, no, it's not uncommon. We're getting known more and more nationally every day. So, and we would love to have you as our guest. We'd love to roll out the red carpet for you when you're in town, so you can come out and see the show firsthand. You'll have a great time, I promise.
Well, your, 4-Day Weekend has been critically acclaimed. As we said, it's the longest-running show in the Southwest.
It is.
Tell our audience about 4-Day Weekend. We want to encourage them, so next time they find themselves in Texas, they make sure that on their to-do list for fun, they get over and see you guys.
Well, we are an improvisational comedy show, so we get audience suggestions, and we base scenes and songs on those audience suggestions. And it's a lot of fun, and we have shows for the general public every Friday and Saturday night, but we tour around the country the rest of the week. So if you're ever in the heart of Sundance Square in Fort Worth, we have a beautiful 212-seat theater there, and feel free to come by and check us out and enjoy the surroundings. The downtown Fort Worth is just amazing, and the city's been so good to us all these years. We just can't say enough nice things about it. So it's just make a day of it. Go there, enjoy the museums, enjoy the restaurants, and then afterwards come by and enjoy 4-Day Weekend.
Well, you take the whole idea of interactivity to a whole nother level. You guys, I mean, I got a text over the weekend suggesting some topics and that for your show. So it demonstrates to me that this is rather dynamic, and you probably don't even do the same show, every week or every day. It's different each time, it sounds like to me.
It is. And you know what? We've really embraced technology and social media now. And social media has become a part of our show. It's been integrated into our show. So, and it's amazing. Years ago, it was one thing to just get a suggestion from the audience members. Now you can download our app or go online during the show and give us suggestions as well. I mean, social media has become such a huge part of our not only our show but our business model as well, that we have a social media director nowadays. You got to have somebody to keep up with all of it. But yeah, our show changes with the times, but at its core, it's still a comedy show. We just have different ways of getting people involved in it.
So you found a way to manage the hecklers. They're not yelling; they're just texting out loud, right?
Right. Yeah. They just send us nasty texts now. So yeah.
Well, now 4-day weekend. Explain to us the story behind the title of the comedy show.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, 4-day weekend actually is an homage, if you must know, to The Simpsons. We don't let this secret out very often, but
sorry. Okay.
No, that's okay. It's about time. No, it was an homage. We were trying to come up with names for the group, and we had seen a recent episode of The Simpsons, and it was Homer Simpson going into work and asking Mr. Burns if he could take Friday off, and was told that if you don't come in on Friday, don't bother coming in on Monday either. And of course, Homer Simpson misinterprets what he's being told, and he says, "Woo, 4-day weekend." And we just love The Simpsons and the humor of The Simpsons and the writing, and so we thought, oh boy, what a good name that is, and it's such a positive name. So it stuck. So we kept 4-day weekend, and that's the name we've had all of these years. And people always ask, where did the name come from? Where did the name come from? That's where it came from.
There it is. The topics. What's hot right now?
Oh
that
boy,
you guys are dealing with?
It's funny because we do a segment in the show where we get audience suggestions, but we also use the Fort Worth Star Telegram. So sometimes it's just based on whatever's in the zeitgeist, whatever's on the audience's mind, or whatever the headlines are. I mean, we'll play to anything. So we have to be well versed and well read to kind of keep up with all the current topics. But also, people will throw stuff out, that's just out there in the ether, and we'll have to play around with that stuff too, those topics as well. So whatever's in the news, popular culture or otherwise, is a suggestion we'll get.
Well, I'm interested to hear how you make Obamacare funny.
Surprisingly, you can make anything funny. The thing about our show is that, hey, we're bipartisan, we're apolitical, so humor to us comes from anywhere and everything, so you can always find humor in something.
Well, and exactly, and politics is such a great target to choose on because, everybody, whatever side you're on, you take yourself so seriously, and this is what's so refreshing to be able to have those kind of what I call Will Rogers moments that bring some sobriety to something that, can one moment get people so ticked off. In the old days, they would duel over.
Well, it's funny, we were asked by Congress, actually. We got to perform for Congress. We did a keynote for Congress, and we've got to meet President Obama, and we've also worked with President Bush. So we've worked both sides of the aisle, and we've been honored to do so. And like you said, with politics, it doesn't matter what side you come from. You're always going to be able to mine some form of humor there. But we've been honored to get to work with the people from both sides of the aisle.
Well, you bring something up that I think is really special when you do this kind of thing, and it does involve humanity. And I got to imagine that you've really met some special people along the way. And I'm not just talking about presidents. I'm just talking about everyday people that are just, they're just special. Well, tell us about that.
You do all of these. You do these big, giant gigs with big name people, but you also remember, you're reminded of the people that you affect daily. I mean, there are so many people that come to our show, like that are celebrating, their 40th wedding anniversary, or it may be a soldier that got back from Iraq or Afghanistan, and after the show or in emails, they'll let you know just how much the show meant to them, and that really means so much to us because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're making people laugh. We're helping them forget about their problems for a while anyway. And I don't know. It in our minds, it's such a positive contribution, and it's very much in line with sort of the philosophy of improv. It's such a forward-thinking, collaborative, positive medium, and so we really, really enjoy performing improvisation, and we're all friends, so it's a great gig to do with each other. But it also is great how it affects people's lives in such a positive way, and people have been so kind, to us and thanking us for the show that we put on, and we couldn't be happier doing it.
I mean, to have a run like this, Frank, I mean, this is extraordinary. There's no doubt about it, and I'm sure you feel blessed in so many ways.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, most gigs like this, what's the life expectancy? You're lucky maybe a year or two.
Oh,
but, what, you guys been doing this now, 17 years, you say?
17 years, yeah, and it's
Wow.
our full-time gig. We're definitely in the 1 percentile, I guess, of entertainers or performers that not only get to do this for as long as we have, but get to make a living at it. I used to work in corporate America. I worked for a great company, Texas Instruments, but I had a choice to make. I reached a crossroads in my life, and I had to choose. Hey, well, what do I want to do now? What's the next chapter? And 4-Day was just growing, and it was one of those things where I wanted to follow my dream, and so along with David Ahern and David Wilk and everyone else, decided to, hey, let's take this to the next level, and we've never looked back. 17 years and counting, so we're very proud of that. Yeah.
Well, those corporate ideologues get a little upset when you want to do a stand-up in the middle of their serious, projection meeting and, annual reports. After a while you figure, hey, maybe I'm a round peg in a square hole. It's time to step out a little bit. Huh?
I'll tell you what. It's a breath of fresh air sometimes, because you know what? We know that we're funnier from Bob from accounting or the CFO. So but it's great because our corporate clients have been wonderful. They bring us in for all kinds of stuff like awards, banquets, and they help with their general sessions or just to be able to inject some levity in their day. So we love doing our corporate gigs. We get to tour around the country and again meet all kinds of wonderful people when we do. So. That really has become a big part of our business is the corporate arm of our business, and we do a lot of shows for corporations. Yeah, and coming from corporate America, we're able to, especially when we give our keynote, apply a lot of the philosophies from corporate America into our keynote. So what we do on stage applies to what we do off stage. And that really has created a very, very strong business model for us, a successful business model for us.
Looking forward to seeing you guys there, Frank, in a couple of months. Voted the best comedy 4-Day weekend is a Fort Worth institution. You've got to see for yourself. Frank, thank you so much for being with us. This is Bill Martinez, 2 minutes before the top of the hour.